Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.
I've just come across this article from The Project, of all places, and it's to do with wallets, right?
Okay.
So it's come out that Gen Zers reckon wallets are for old people.
Right, okay. So Gen Z is having a look at it. It's between the ages of 12 and 27.
Yes. So we are in the Gen Z bracket, you and I. But yeah, basically they're saying, you know, with the rise of Apple Pay, Google Wallet, I mean, you can even have your ID on your phone these days here in South Australia. And they're saying, you know what, what's the need for a wallet?
Yeah.
And a few years ago, I probably would have agreed with this. I went about 4 years not having a wallet because I had everything on my phone. I'd lost my wallet, just decided not to replace it. I was like, there's no point, right? But now I'm back on the wallet train. As I've gotten a little bit older, I'm more like, I'm getting more cash out. I'm using a lot more cash. I've got more cards that I can't be bothered store. Yeah, it's more of a hassle for me to go store these cards on my phone now than it is just putting the cards in a wallet.
Right. Isn't it interesting, though, the cycle? Because when you're a kid, you get a wallet, and this is really exciting.
Yeah.
You got your first wallet. You
get your Velcro Rip Curl wallet.
You go from the Velcro wallet as a kid to getting the leather wallet as you're a little bit older, and you're like, wow, this is very grown up. This is very cool. I've got the leather wallet. And then you go through the cycle of, hey, I don't want a wallet. And eventually, as you get older, you want one back. So I didn't have a wallet for a while either, and I was just using the phone because mine broke. So I didn't see the point of getting a new one either. It wasn't compelling to get a new one because, like you said, you do have your ID, you have Apple Pay, you have everything on your phone, so it wasn't necessary. Then I got one as a gift last month for Christmas, so I've gone back on the wallet train.
Yeah.
Because it's there. Because as soon as there's a wallet there, I will use it, but if it breaks, I probably wouldn't worry about it until I get another one somehow.
Well, that's the other thing, so many kids get wallets through things like show bags when the show's on as well.
Yeah.
But I wonder if now it's going to become a thing where kids aren't wanting wallets, or when they get a wallet, they're not as... happy about it and they just want a phone.
Yeah, sure. Do you reckon wallet is going to be the next gift where kids look at it at Christmas and they think, oh, come on, the wallet? It's like the new sweater. Kids are just like, this is lame. Come on, I don't want to be like Uncle John.
Yeah.
He's 50 and he carries a wallet.
That's leather Italian. Italian leather, imported straight here.
Yeah. What I do find funny about this study, though, is like you said, Tom, not only are kids not wanting wallets, but they also look down on the people that do have wallets, and they're saying, there is an image perspective of, hey, people with wallets look old. It's an old person thing to have a wallet now, which is so strange.
And I want to do a bit of an opinion piece with the Fresh Fam right now. I want to know, do you have a wallet? Do you use a wallet? And I'd love to hear from the people that don't have a wallet and think they're obsolete now.
Yeah, I'd like to know if there is anyone out of the age bracket that are a bit older that still don't have a wallet and they've gone back to cards, because I feel like anyone that's a bit older loves the traditional wallet. My dad always carries around cash. And,
so does my dad.
And it's just such a thing for being in your 60s or whatever that you have a roll of cash in your wallet for some reason. It's just how it's always been. So he's always had a wallet. He would never go to just cards on the phone.
The text line has blown up at the moment. Somebody's texted in saying, I've got one. A reason for having it is if your phone has everything on it and it gets lost, you have no backup.
Oh, it's so true, isn't it? It's so handy to have a bit of cash around if your phone goes flat and you can't pay for that Macca's on a night out. You know?
Absolutely.
That is the number one emergency. Forget about trying to get home. That is the big deal. Someone said, why graduate to leather? I still rock a rusty Velcro. Never take it anywhere, and also would I'd keep all those cards from JB. Very nice.
There you go. Somebody's texted in here. Yes, boys, got to carry a wallet. In a cafe the other day, my card expired on my phone. Lucky we had a pineapple in the wallet, saved my smoko.
Hey, brilliant.
That's happy days, isn't it?
Someone here outside of the Gen Z bracket. I'm 37, haven't used a wallet in 4 years. Just keep any extra cards in my car.
Yeah, right. All right, there you go. Hey, we've got some people on the phone lines right now. We're going to start things off with Foxy over in Hillbank. Foxy, do you have a wallet, mate?
Yes, mate.
Yeah. Very good.
And always had one? Always used it?
Always had one. Always had one. Always will.
Now, Foxy, would you ever convert to the non-wallet? Have you given the Apple ID a go?
No, not at all.
So you haven't even set up your cards on your phone?
No.
Jeez, love that. That is old school.
Traditional.
That is, I'm very old school. If I lose my phone, That'd be a massive panic, I think.
Yep. How thick is your wallet? Do you have everything hanging out of it? Is it causing a rupture in your back?
George Costanza style, or?
Only with money now.
Good on you, Foxy. Hey, we've got Adrienne from Greenwith. Adrienne, good morning. Do you have a wallet?
I do have a wallet, but I will not take it out with me if I don't have to. I hate carrying things. So I've got all my stuff on my phone.
Yeah.
And if I can get away with it, I won't take my wallet. I'll even, give my keys to a friend or just shove them in a pocket or in, my bra.
Oh, so do you do the classic, you're out with a friend and you're like, hey, can you hold this? If they've got a big handbag, you just chuck it all in there.
100%. If I can get away with as much responsibility, I will definitely do that. But there's definitely been times where it's, didn't realise how late, you'd be out and about. Yeah. And then you're looking at that phone battery and you're like, oh, am I going to be able to get my car out?
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. But,
Adrienne, will you carry a handbag out with you?
No.
Nah. Yeah.
Even like when I take my kids out and all that kind of stuff, I'm like, nope, find a drinking fountain, put your hands underneath the tap. I'm not carrying your drink bottles anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not carrying this. You've got pockets. They're like, give me their snotty tissues. I'm like, no, you have your own pockets. You do it.
Yeah. The only thing I worry about giving my stuff to somebody else to carry is that I'll forget it and then they've just taken my stuff home for the night in their handbag.
Yeah, but that's okay because, we're all friends here. You're going to get it back.
Yeah, it's in a safe spot, I guess.
You do know where it is. Hey, thanks so much for calling up, Adrienne. We appreciate it.
All good, guys.
Let's wrap things up here. We got Craig, Kidman Park. Craig, mate, do you use a wallet?
Definitely not.
Definitely not.
No,
okay.
You don't. And are you in the Gen Z bracket?
Definitely not.
Craig, tell us, how would you feel if some punk kid sees you on the street and you hear them whispering, geez, that guy's got a wallet. He must be pretty old. How would you react?
Well, he doesn't have one.
I wouldn't care because I don't have one.
Yeah. Well, it's good you don't. You don't have to experience such a thing.
So, Craig, do you use all the phone apps? You've got your Apple ID, your Google Wallet, all set up?
I use my pockets, mate. Money and cards in my pocket.
Oh,
yeah,
loose.
Okay. Oh, wow. So loose. Loose cash around.
That's even more insane.
Yeah, have you ever lost any? Are you a culprit to losing a bit of cash?
All the time.
On a windy day?
All the time. I pull out the pocket, some of it goes.
I bet your bank is really sick of you, Craig.
Yes.
Callum, it's no secret the two of us are quite wary of technology, right?
Yep.
Specifically AI. We see videos of them discussing how they would exterminate humankind. We know the power they have in forms of their technology and how everything these days sort of relies on technology. So when there is the uprising, the inevitable uprising of the robots, they will probably have the numbers.
It is a thing that comes up a little bit, and often, we do face the shocking reality of, like you said, the uprising and how damaging it all is. So it is nice. It is very nice when we have a good piece of AI news that they're doing something to service our world and humankind instead of evaporating it.
Exactly right. The reason they were born onto this earth to help assist humans. And today marks a special day because, yes, AI has gained a little bit of trust back from me because it's been put to good use from a few uni students to decode scrolls from 18,000 years ago, dating all the way back to 79 AD when Mount Vesuvius erupted over Pompeii.
Wow.
They found these scrolls buried in a Roman villa under the ash. And what they've decoded about 85% so far of these scrolls. There was about 1,700 scrolls they found. And about 85% they've managed to decode so far. And basically what they've come across is quite modern thinking.
Right, okay.
Of what these Romans were talking about back then on these scrolls. And the author seems to be discussing the question, are things that are more scarce more pleasurable as a result? So basically, it's a whole discussion, a bit of a philosophical view around the idea of things that are more abundant don't seem as nice. But the things that we find more scarce, and higher in price, more pleasurable on taste buds or to wear or anything like that.
Hey, cool. It's an interesting thinking that obviously back then, they were quite advanced and would think of these concepts. And, over time, we've gone through the cycle of, them degrading that sort of intelligence and then going through and doing the cycle and relearning things. So it's interesting that they are at that level back then. What I will say about the AI that I think it's very good that they can debunk these scrolls, these ancient scrolls, is it can be used for us, Tom, because we have a lot of radio notes when we go out on a big night and we write these notes after a few drinks. Then the next morning you wake up and you're like, what the hell does that mean? I was supposed to use that for radio, but I don't know. You're looking at your phone sideways and you're like, cat whiteboard. Wheel, you don't know what it means. So it's very good that maybe this AI can help us, Tom, in
decode our notes,
decoding our notes from a big night, so we can eventually use it on radio.
I like where you're going with this, because yes, I do constantly try and decode my own notes, and I go through my night, bit by bit, thinking, when was I talking about cats? When did a cat roll into the conversation? You know?
Can't think.
You just can't think. And you go through your photos and it's not there, I mean, just for example, I've gone right up to the high bits of my notes. These are going back years ago. And I'll try and decode this right now live on air for you. We'll see if I can.
Wait, you're going to challenge the robot?
I'm going to see if I can challenge the robot.
I don't know if that's a good idea. Robot overlords, if you're listening. Tom doesn't mean it. He's just goofing around. No need to.
I will serve you when the time comes, our robot overlords.
No need to whip us with your wires. We're just having a laugh. We're not trying to step on your crunchy metal toes.
Here's a note, okay? Tesla, part 2. Email ideas. Call up Tesla customer service.
Sounds like you just wanted a Tesla at the time and you thought, hey,
my God, Teslas are robots too. Callum, I've loved cooking ever since I was young, right? Cooking on a Sunday with Mum from my own recipe book used to be one of my favourite things. And then even at school, I did food tech from like year 7 all the way through to year 12.
Yeah.
And now as an adult, even at the end of a long day, some people are like, oh, I have to cook dinner. I kind of look forward to, what am I going to make tonight?
SpaghettiOs or
or baked beans on toast.
Yeah.
No, I love going through sitting there for about half an hour to an hour, just going through recipes, being like, what looks nice? What am I going to make?
It is fun. It can be very therapeutic. Like you said, come home from work, sit down, plan everything. And so it's not too bad at all.
And, everyone has their own rules with cooking.
Yeah.
Everyone does stuff differently. You sort of take things in stride. You cherry pick what people tell you to do.
I like how you're sounding so polite about it, and you're talking about the rules pretty willy-nilly, pretty carefully. But if anyone's actually been in a kitchen with you, they would know you're a bit of a tyrant, and they know that you can go a bit insane in there. You don't like other people messing up the rules in the kitchen.
Look, I don't like to cook with other people in the kitchen, no.
I've heard apparently you've yelled at someone to get out.
I have.
From time to time.
Well, when... Sometimes, that's a story for another time. That person is useless in the kitchen.
they're a rare exception that they shouldn't be around any flames or...
Asking me how I should cut an onion. Just get out, I'll do it, okay? That's the point where I lose my cool.
Sounds like a young Gordon Ramsay brewing.
If radio doesn't work out, I'm going into the chef industry.
I just want to yell at some people in the kitchen. Let me live my dream.
But yeah, everyone has their own rules until, a so-called expert comes along and they debunk your truths. And this person, Miss Futher, also known as Madam Sweat, a name I wouldn't trust.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, this person is handling food?
Now, I thought maybe it was Madam Sweet, but no, I double-checked. It is a Madam Sweat.
Oh, you definitely want a name change on that if you're going into the food industry.
Yes. She has come out and is telling us the truths about whether it is safe to put warm food right into the fridge or whether you should leave it out and let it cool before you put it in the fridge.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Because, this happened the other night. I had a taco night, cooked a bunch of mince, and wanted to keep a bunch for leftover. Couldn't be bothered waiting for it to be on the counter to cool down. I was like, I'm going to do some other stuff. I'm going to go in the other end of the house. I just want to slap it in the fridge straight away. So it was boiling hot, straight off the frying pan, chucked it in the fridge. It didn't really bother me.
Right. Okay. So I've always been taught by everyone growing up that if you have hot food, you leave it there to cool and then you put it in the fridge after about half an hour.
Yeah.
And so the more I read this article, I was like, okay, well, I learned that in food tech. I learned that in, nutrition at school. I learned this from my mum growing up cooking. So I'm scrolling down the article thinking like, yeah, it'll just be that. But no, she said that it is actually unsafe and you should chuck it in the fridge straight away because it could get more bacteria the longer you leave it out.
See, I don't believe that because the scenario that would be that you're going to eat it anyway. If it's on your plate and you're leaving hot food there because you're eating it over, say, a 20-minute duration, you're watching TV, it's presumed that it's going to be fine. So what's the difference in leaving it there for 20 minutes and not eating it, and putting it in the fridge?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Madam Sweat, who is an expert...
Do we trust Madam Sweat? I don't think so.
That's the thing as well. I mean, this is off Daily Mail 1. So there's one reason why not to trust this article. The other reason is they just keep referring to Madam Sweat as an expert, but don't say an expert in what. Trust me, I scoured this article trying to find what she's an expert in.
She's an accountant. She's an expert with numbers. What if it's a field that has nothing to do with food and for some reason she's slipped through the cracks and then she's got an interview about food hygiene? Where are her qualifications if she's dealing with something as important as health and safety in food?
Exactly right. And what I want to do is open up the phone lines here. What do you do? Are you putting your hot food straight into the fridge or do you let it sit out? We'll jump straight into the calls here. Rachel, Henley Beach South. Good morning, Rach. How are you?
I'm good, guys. How are you?
Awesome.
Yeah, very well. Now, Rachel, what do? Are you leaving the food out for a little bit, let it cool, or are you putting it straight in the fridge?
Well, I think it depends on what you're doing at the time.
Okay.
And regardless, you're not going to die.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Does it depend on the food as well?
Sorry?
Would it-
I get what you mean with rice, but I will still leave it covered. Even in a rice cooker, if you've slowly boiled it, I think it's fine to leave out for to let it get to room temperature.
Yeah, cool. And,
But if you're rushing out the door, then you've got to put it in there in the fridge. Then you put it in the fridge.
Yeah, see, I'm like you, Rachel. I'm kind of neutral on both scenarios. It depends on what you're doing. And either way, I've never been sick from it. So I kind of just do whatever.
No.
There you go.
No, and I think Madam Sweat might be overthinking it a little bit because...
I think I've got a lot of things to say about Madam Sweat.
Because I only say because I'm a psychologist, but I've also cooked for the Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull.
Really?
And he came in and said...
Wait, did you say you cooked for him?
Yeah. I did a catering function for him.
There you go.
Jeez.
What food does
So,
he like?
I've got creds here.
Yeah, give us a goss. What's his favourite food?
Well, the Peking duck pancakes actually went down really well.
That does sound pretty good.
And then there was scallops
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and the prawns.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, it was really cool. And he came in the kitchen and said thank you afterwards, which was lovely.
Oh, there you go. Hey, thanks for getting involved, Rachel. We appreciate it.
No worries. Good luck.
Cheers. Hey, we've got Liz Aldinga. Liz, are you leaving the food out or are you putting it straight in the fridge?
Madam, morning guys. Madam Sweat,
Yeah.
BS. She's not practical. How can you cannot put warm food in the fridge. It stinks the fridge out.
Okay. Yeah.
And what that last lady said made me think twice because she knows her stuff being an ex-caterer. But you can't put a lid on rice. It goes all steamy and gross. No, I'm not with her. Sorry guys.
Right, Liz, how would you feel if you put something in the fridge? It might be a bit pungent, it might stink it out, but what if there's a lid on it? What if it's in Tupperware?
No, because then you've got the condensation thing happening, which is gross. Have you had rice that's got condensation on the inside of the lid?
Yeah, it goes all mushy.
Not me. No.
Yeah, you know
I'm
what,
going
Liz?
against it.
I'm with you. I'm against Madam Sweat so far.
Thank you.
Absolutely
Thank
with
you.
you. Thank you. We appreciate you getting involved.
That's it. We got Christy in Old Raynella. Christy, are you waging a war against Madam Sweat as well? How do you? What's your technique for refrigerated food?
This is absolutely blowing my mind. If anyone's done home ec and not actually talking about it, you cannot put boiling hot food in the fridge. You need to think about the fridge temperature rising due to boiling hot food and then turning all your other food off.
True. I guess you could have, chicken in the
The
fridge.
temperature in your fridge goes up. Yeah, straight away it starts cooking your food and then it starts going off itself.
Yeah.
See,
Okay.
I
The
don't really-
temperature of a boiling hot milk.
I haven't actually.
Blowing my mind.
I haven't even thought about that idea of, heating other things up in the fridge if it's boiling hot. Yeah, I've
It's
always
heating
just thought
other
about the
things up.
taste.
If you've got something at 80, 90 degrees and you're chucking it straight in
Yeah.
the fridge, you're cooking all the rest. Your milk just curdle. Everything starts going
Right,
bad.
yeah.
And let's be real here. Who doesn't serve their dinner, sit down and eat it, and then pack it away later? There's your 20 minutes.
Exactly.
Done and
If you want
dusted.
seconds,
So
yeah, you leave it out, right?
Yeah. It's crazy to me.
Yeah.
It's blowing my mind.
There you go. Hey, thanks for getting involved, Christy. Geez, everyone against Madam Sweat at the moment.
We got. Let's go to this one here, Tom. In Underdale, we've got Giuseppe. What's your theory? What's your go with the fridge?
Morning, gents.
Morning.
Well, you can put the food in the fridge while it's hot. I mean, technically speaking, the shorter the time between the food going from one state to the other, the less chance the bacteria has to grow. I used to work in food preparation.
Okay.
But at home, it's a little bit harder because your fridge, like the previous caller says, is probably not cold enough to drop the temperature of hot food before it starts heating up the fridge. So you probably want to let your food cool a little bit.
Yeah.
But then, even hot, you can put it in the fridge so long as it doesn't affect all of the other stuff that's stored in there.
So you're saying, Pep, that a kitchen industrial fridge has the power that you can chuck something hot straight in, no dramas, but a fridge at home, you probably shouldn't do it.
Yeah. When I used to work in food prep, we had these massive fridge with big fans that would cool down very quickly, and we used to put massive pots of like sauce and stuff in there and turn it on, and it would cool the food right down from being really like straight off of the stove through to being at cold, safe temperature.
Yeah. No, it's so funny because everyone's thinking about the immediacy of the food that they're putting in the fridge, what it's going to do to that, but no one's thinking about the damn milk or the chicken that's already in your fridge that is going to suffer.
Hey, good on you, Peppy. Thanks for getting involved, mate. We appreciate it.
Cheers, gents. Bye.
Cheers. Hey, let's wrap things up with Sam in Richmond. Sammy, are you leaving the food in or out?
Yeah, man, I'm with the sweat lady.
Ooh, you're with Madam
Sweat. Right, okay.
Yeah, you need to cool it down as quick as possible, mate.
Yeah, okay. So, and you haven't suffered from any consequences of putting the food in straight away? Has it ruined any of the other food in the fridge? Has it made you sick? Anything like that?
Nah, mate. I've been a chef for 16 years, and we had the commercial fridges as well, and we've always been taught to put the food in the fridge straight away. Don't cover it. Put something underneath so you can get the air flowing up from the bottom as well.
Hey, but Sam, what about our last caller, Giuseppe, who said, yeah, that's all well and good if you have an industrial fridge, but what about a fridge at home, one that doesn't have that kind of power?
Well, obviously, just wait a little bit, maybe 5 or so minutes. But, the longer you leave it out, the bacteria is going to grow quicker. So you leave it in that temperature of around between, 15 to 30. That's the danger zone, and that's when the bacteria grows. So
there you go. Hey, thanks for getting involved, Sam. We appreciate it, mate.
No worries, boys. You take care.
Yeah,
Easy.
You too, mate. There you go. I mean, most people against Madam Sweat, but a few good points there at the end, siding with the Sweatmeister.
It's a good debate, isn't it?
It really
I'm keen
is.
to see. Yeah, well, let's keep an eye out for any more Madam Sweat theories.
We'll
Cheers.
do a food poisoning test later in the week. We might be off air.
Tom, we put a lot of faith into doctors, but I think we put a lot more faith into people training to be doctors because, there's a lot of excitement behind it.
They're the next generation.
Exactly right. They're doing a good deed. They're studying a lot. And especially if they're one of your friends, you really do root for them. You've got a doctor in the friend group. And
you're in the bleachers.
Yeah, exactly
Sign
right.
up.
Yeah, you're watching them do their exams, their study, and you're pumped. And this goes for one of our mates, Yanni. But, it is also the burden of a medical student that you do get the troubles of people, wanting your advice and wanting help. And sometimes you're just like, come on, I'm studying.
Well, both of us have messaged him prior,
Yeah.
to having issues, being like, hey, what do you think about this?
Yeah.
This on my nether region.
This abnormality in a spot that I usually wouldn't show friends. But seeing you're a medical professional, I will.
I trust you.
Yeah. He's seen a few unpleasant things, hasn't he?
Yeah, truly.
But yeah, one time as well when I was sick at a concert at Tame Impala and I was on the stairwell and I really wanted to go back into the concert and the security guard said, I don't recommend he goes back and watches it. And then you turned around and said, no, it's all good. He's with a doctor, which really really pissed off Yanni because he said, "I'm not a doctor. Stop saying that. I'm in my 3rd year of med
Trainee.
school." Yeah. But the skills were really put to the test the other night because I was at some pre-drinks, had a few drinks at my house, and had a few people over, and Yanni was expected to come a little bit later. But at the time, there was this girl, Riley, there, and it was a bit hot in the house. And she'd only had one drink, but she got up and starts to walk towards the back door and then faints. So she drops to the floor.
Wow.
Yeah, full on. When someone faints like that, you sort of...
Sick or?
Not sick, like not throwing up. Just I think she had sunburn that day, like heat stroke. Mix it with a bit of drinking, mix it with a hot room, and she just felt a bit woozy and sort of rolled against the door. Anyway, when she came to it, I said, "Don't worry, there's a medical student coming." And then what I find very funny though is that as soon as Yanni arrives, we tell him and we say, "Yanni's here, Yanni's here." He comes through the lounge room and we're like, "What do we do?"
Around the neck.
Yeah, what do we do, Doogie Howser? What do we do? and then Yanni comes through and he's like, "Oh, have you put her on a couch? Just get her to put her feet up." And I'm like, is this what they pay you people? This is what they pay you doctors to say, "Hey, put your feet up."
I could have told you that.
Yeah.
Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to AuscastNetwork.com for details.